Two schools separated by just over 3 miles in greater Baltimore, dueling it out today for the 64th time. Another chapter of one of the longest running rivalries in both schools' storied histories getting written today as number 12 Loyola makes the short trip north to face Towson at Johnny Unitas Stadium right here on Lax Sports Network. And with that, we welcome you alongside the former North Carolina Tar Heel Davey Emila. I'm Travis Eldridge. Davey, this is a storied rivalry between these two, and in talking to both coaches, you know it may be a non-conference game, but this means a lot to both programs and both alumni bases as well.
Yeah, it definitely does, Travis. And being a kid from Baltimore, I know the magnitude of this game. Both teams coming in looking for a win, looking for some fireworks here on this Saturday.
Should be a lot of fun. We got some great talent on the field once again in this matchup. For Loyola, it's Aiden Olmstead who's really stepped into that Pat Spencer role as the key ex-attackman for this offense.
Yeah, Travis, Aiden Olmstead, really love the way that this kid plays. He is able to operate from X, being that quarterback role, as you can see. Does not hesitate to turn the corner, but also always keeping his eyes up. I love seeing his scoring really balanced between goals and assists. He's going to look to set the tone for Loyola this entire afternoon here on the offensive end.
On the Tigers side, it was Kobe Smith a couple of years ago in this game that really made a name for himself in how he guarded Pat Spencer. The All-American still there for the Tigers today.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen Kobe Smith play in a lot of games, and he's done a lot of really good things. He helps out in transition. He's able to take on these one-on-one matchups and do a great job every single weekend. It seems like he's got a tough assignment, and he's got another tough one today. He's going to really set the tone for this team, but also be in that leadership role, looking for, as we talked to Coach Nadel and the team, looking to play a full 4 quarters today. Kobe Smith is going to be the engine that drives that here for Towson.
And we will see if they can put together 4 quarters. We have face-off on the other side between Loyola and Towson here on LSN. Back here with our CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Travis Eldridge and Davey Emila with you as number 12 Loyola makes that short trip here to Towson. Let's meet our head coaches in this one. 2 guys who are certainly familiar to many in the lacrosse community, familiar with this rivalry, starting with Loyola's Charlie Toomey in his 16th season. Davey, in talking to Charlie about this, he's a guy who played his college ball here at Loyola. He knows this rivalry maybe better than anybody, and he said, if I didn't tell my players this year what this rivalry means to the alumni, Dave Cottle would come after my head.
That's right. No, Charlie Toomey, he really drives this rivalry. His players love him, both current and alumni, looking for another big staple win here for the program today.
And, of course, for Towson, it's Sean Nadalin in his 9th season leading the Tigers. A guy who's taken his team to the Final Four back in 2017, former USILA Coach of the Year, 5 NCAA tournament appearances. Sean Nadalin has certainly taken this program to new heights, but struggling so far this year, 2-5 overall. They may be the best 2-5 team in the country, but they're still 2-5. Work to do, and we hit on it, Davey, in the open, a team that the last couple of weeks have had chances to win, but they've come up just short. 1 2-goal losses. We'll see what the Tigers do here today as we take a look at the starting goaltenders. Sam Schaefer once again in goal for the Greyhounds, the senior out of Connecticut. Last year was his first year as a full-time starter, playing in the 6 games, had a goals against average under 9. His goals against average right there around 9 so far this season in 6 games. And for the Tigers, it's Shane Brennan, the redshirt senior out of New York. His goals against average just under 13. Played a good first half against Delaware last week before the Blue Hens were able to stage that comeback, scoring the last 4 goals of that game, including the OT game winner. Another chapter getting ready to be written in this rivalry, and we are underway from Johnny Unitas Stadium. The opening face-off won by the Tigers. Good scrum there by the Greyhounds, but it's Towson who will get the first possession. Reese Potter coming up with the ground ball, the short stick defensive midfielder.
Yeah, we'll look for Towson to start fast here today, Travis. Beautiful day for some lacrosse here in Baltimore. Towson want to replicate the start they were able to have last week against Delaware. That was by attacking their one-on-one matchups, moving the ball quickly, everyone getting a touch, and getting shots off early and often.
This is Austin Stewart who sends it behind. Good look, but just a little high there on the backside for John Bender. And a ground ball scooped up by the All-American Ryan McNulty. Guy we haven't hit on yet, but hard not to notice what he has done throughout his career at Loyola. one of the best long stick midfielders in the country.
Yeah, Coach Toomey always talks about McNulty and his leadership ability. He really is a driving force on this team in a lot of different ways. It really sets the tone for this Loyola group.
This is Kevin Lindley, who has had all sorts of success against Towson in his career. Overall, 13 goals in 3 games against the Tigers. This is Adam Patra, the sophomore out of Ontario, moves it along. Up to the top of the box. Aiden Olmstead sends it behind. Here is Lindley trying to get free. Pass is deflected as it was trying to come up to Peter Swindell. Now on the wing to Patra. 20 seconds to operate for this Greyhounds offense, their first possession of the day. Yeah, Kobe Smith hung up. Olmstead going top shelf. Great move by the senior out of New York.
Yeah, really nice take there by Olmstead here, Travis. Really interesting offensively overall by Loyola. They're not afraid to have guys in different spots. We even saw Olmstead there cast the ball up top, but eventually finds himself in this hung situation. Does a really nice job of putting his shoulder down, getting his hands free, and turning that corner with a high-to-high shot, getting past Kobe Smith there. So big confidence boost and a great way to start off the Greyhounds here for Olmstead.
Yeah, a good start, and we talked to both coaches about the matchup with Olmstead and Kobe Smith, and even Charlie Toomey recognized, like, look, Kobe Smith's one of the best in the country. You get a couple of those one-on-one goals, you're going to be in good shape down the stretch. A face-off win for Loyola, shot deflected in front. Ground ball by Mo Silla, almost a 2-0 early lead for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, and you said it there, Travis. Coach Toomey really just talking about, hey, if we can win that individual matchup a couple times a game, it's just going to be that much more to our advantage, and we saw that example perfectly right there.
This is John Bender getting the start at attack today. Brody McLean out with an upper body injury. Started every game so far this season. One of a couple of Tigers is out. Here is the list. Casey Wasserman, Greg I, both also out for this game. Chop Gallagher, the freshman, out for the season. Had gotten off to a promising start in his first year at Towson, but Gallagher out for the year. The other 3 out at least for today. This is Jake McLean, part of the second midfield unit today.
You know, when you have a couple guys out from your roster, really important to lean on the guys that have been as productive as of late. And that's really been Milani and Avanzado here for Towson, really driving last week versus Delaware.
Geiger's shot is stopped in front. Schaefer got a piece, lost it for a second, but able to grab it in the crease. And they'll look to outlet and get the clear.
Big for Schaefer there to get a nice save on an early shot.
Quick time called for by Peyton Razunka, the short stick defensive midfielder.
Not sure what that one was there, Trav.
Like a glove came off or something, I'm not sure, but we're all good, and Greyhounds keep possession. This is the starting midfield unit. Patra, Swindell. Expect to see Liam Bateman in there as well.
See sort of a moderate pace so far from Loyola as they're really just getting their guys on and setting up their offense. Important to get everyone a touch early to let them settle in and let that confidence build here.
Good move at the top of the box. It's by Joey Kamish. Returned from a leg injury last week and did so in a big way with 5 points. Ball poked away. Nice job tiptoeing the midline there by Swindell. Loyola somehow keeping possession here, and they track it down. Still 11 seconds to operate on the shot clock. Deflected in front, just off. They got lucky. 4 seconds left, no reset.
Towson's gonna have to check up here quickly.
Almost a golden opportunity on kind of a garbage possession for Loyola, but instead the Tigers defense holds.
Yeah, you got to give Towson credit there on the defensive end. You know, Loyola really was trying to press and see what the best area of attack was. Towson did a good job of just staying in front of their guy and really not having a productive possession there.
Nice job by Towson to get it over midfield.
Yep, and those are the situations we talked to Coach Nadalin a ton about, right? If we're putting together a full 4 quarters, it's the self-inflicting wounds. Those are the mistakes that you have to limit. A lot of those happen in that clearing game. So good for Towson, to get going well there early.
So look at Riley Geiger, 5'11", 180 senior out of Finksburg, Maryland. One of 2 Geiger brothers on the midfield unit for Towson. You have not seen a lot of Riley today, or this year so far, but getting the start with the top midfield unit with some of the injured guys out. Jump shot is saved by Schaefer. Tough angle there for James Avanzato.
Yeah, tough shot there for Avanzato, but I like his aggressiveness. As we just mentioned on the previous possession, this offense has got to run through him. He's a playmaker. We saw that last week, and he's going to need to do it again here today to keep up with this Loyola offense.
Some pressure on the pole, Matt Hughes. Look at Towson lock off some of the other guys, finally getting it to Kamish. And it's Kevin Lindley way outside his comfort area who will get it to some of the midfielders. It's a very versatile Loyola offensive unit. And talking with Charlie Toomey, with some of the guys they had coming back, they got Kamish back from injury. They got Dan Wigley back from injury as well last week. And he said, look, we're going to move some guys around. We've got guys that can dodge up from up top, run out of the box, and also guys we don't mind sliding down to the attack unit.
Yeah, and it really is just a choice of a style that you want to play here if you're Loyola. When you have that ability to have a lot of hybrid sort of attack in midfield units, you want to take your time to get those guys on the field, get into your systems, and run through your plays.
A big hit delivered to Kamish as he came across, draws a flag, and we're going to have our first man-up opportunity of the day for the Greyhounds. Didn't see who delivered this hit. Right into the chest there was John Finfrock, the short stick defensive midi.
Yeah, and that's a tough hit there when you're right down the middle of the field. Your arms are nice and are wide there for the shots. Your chest is a bit exposed there, leaving you susceptible there to take a hit.
So the Greyhounds are the man up for the first time today. 8 man-up goals on the year.
When you have a lot of guys that can be attack and middies, that hybrid, generally you're going to see a really highly skilled extra man offense with a lot of offensive-minded players here.
His Tigers man-down unit stopped about 73% of man-up possessions. So they've been relatively solid so far. Down on the doorstep off the bar. That was a really good look for for Evan James.
Yeah, really nice look there. Really nice job by Loyola. Not really doing anything special to create that shot, just playing those zone principles, drawing guys up, couple steps, and then dumping across your body.
Still 29 seconds on the man up, and they cash in. Loyola with an early 2-0 lead. It's Aiden Olmstead again, his second of the day.
Yeah, really nice shot there from Olmstead, showing you now his ability and some range there with his shot, right? So not only the ability to carry and run the offense, but that's an absolute laser there from that lefty wing position. And again, Loyola's extra man there, not doing anything too special just in terms of creating those shots, just drawing guys, making them commit, and then dumping it to your teammate right in front of you. And then if you have a shot like that from Olmstead, that's tough to get in front of if you're a goalie.
Coming off a huge day, 3 and 5 in the big win over Bucknell last weekend. And how about the role reversal? That was Peter Swindell, who's kind of one of those long-range shooter guys for Loyola, who fed Olmstead. Usually it's the other way around.
There, I had to double-check the jersey numbers here.
Yeah. Santoro wins a faceoff. Shane Santoro once again starting at the faceoff dot for Towson. Right around 45% on the year, the sophomore. Tigers struggling offensively. That ball knocked out of bounds, and it'll go back the other way. Good defense by Cam Wires.
Surprising with no whistle there
to
hear, but yeah. That's Avanzato again there, just pressing a little bit here. I think understanding that they're going to lean on him heavily today to be really productive on the offensive end. Just important to get sit and let guys on the field, get in your offense. run through some possessions.
I mean, this is an experienced defensive unit for Loyola.
Yeah.
You got Kyle LeBlanc and Matt Hughes, a couple of seniors. Cam Wires, a junior, but he's a guy who has been a starter since his freshman year, so he's played a lot of college lacrosse. And then you got the grad student in McNulty at the long stick position. That shot sent wide by James. No backup.
No, coach is going to show that one in film.
Nice job by Garrett Zingalia. He wasn't even really rushing for it. I think Shane Brennan was the guy
That's
who
right.
ended up backing it up, the goalie.
By default there.
Didn't even have to move as Jake McLean brings it over midfield. See if the Tigers can get something on offense. They were clicking so well in that first half against Delaware. Led 9-5 last weekend. It really looks like they had figured out something offensively. It's been a slower start so far today.
Yeah, it has been. I think really when they were figuring it out, a lot of it had to do with those two-man gains from the wings, whether it was Avanzado or Milani. That was their bread and butter last game, so really would like to see them go back to that.
Montgomery sends it behind. Nice catch by Bender. Here comes Geiger. Feeds McLean. Had a pretty decent look. Still 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Jump shot sent wide. McLean there for the rebound. See if Montgomery wants to go. Now 12 seconds in the shot clock. Montgomery beats his man. Bounce shot is sent wide. And there it comes into the stick of Schaefer.
Better action there from Towson offensively. I think McLean maybe had a shot there, his hands free right in front, but decided to throw that one through X. But much better progress there from the Tigers on the offensive end, getting some opportunities.
So Loyola with a 2-0 lead about 10 minutes in. Another possession. Kamish joined by Riley C., the Bellarmine transfer. Played 6 games a year ago in his first season with the Greyhounds. Did not score. This year finding his rhythm. 6-1 so far for the Bellarmine transfer, who was terrific in his 1 year there at Bellarmine in the SoCon. Good save there by Brennan, and a crease violation gives it to the Tigers.
I like that offense from Loyola there, just initiating from up top, dodging hard on your individual matchup, moving it twice and attacking the backside. That's a recipe for success that we're going to see more and more here today.
So we're now nearing 11 minutes without a goal for the Tigers. See if they can do something offensively. They continue to go back and forth between midfield units. This is the first unit with Swain, Geiger, and Stewart. Here's Stewart up on the wing, trying to use his body. Pushed out nicely. Matt Higgins, great short stick D-midi for Loyola. Geiger switches hands, gets in there, sent wide. Oh, almost a good look in front for Milani, but it just got deflected.
We've seen that a couple times now, Travis. Towson always looking inside there. Milani oftentimes is moving within that crease, and Towson's been able to, Loyola's been able to get a couple deflections and make that connection not happen.
Now under 20 on the shot clock for the Tigers. Stewart. Higgins has done a nice job on him, sent wide again. 5 seconds left to shoot. They reset the shot clock, which I don't think was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure that shot there from Stewart hit anything.
Maybe why our officials stopped play. Yep, there we go. 5 seconds left of the shot clock. Avanzado is going to have to go quick. And he's just going to decide to send it to the other corner.
Set up the ride.
Give up the possession, but make sure you get everybody back. You don't give up one quickly going the other way. So another defensive hold for the Greyhounds.
Travis, you're right about this Loyola defense. I'm seeing here Hughes listed at 6'2". He looks even bigger than that. Those are some big guys down there that have a lot of experience that are playing really well right now.
It's a unit that's been good so far. I mean, Loyola giving up just 9.3 goals per game. Giving up double digits just 3 times so far this year.
And really, that has such an effect on your whole team. Really, just offensively, it takes so much pressure off, knowing that you're going to get those stops from your defense. Right, you don't have to score every time down. Then you can take your time to get the right units that you want on the field to run through those attack and midfield mixing and matching. Nice
two-man game. Good job deflecting that by the Tigers defense. That was a step down, beautiful look for Loyola, and it rung off somebody's helmet, it looked like. Evan James will trigger it back in. James, one of those guys who actually started the first game against Richmond in the midfield, but then was switched to attack and has been starting at attack ever since. Last year had 3 goals coming out of the midfield, but has been turned into a starting attackman and has done pretty well. 14 goals so far this year, second on the team. Swindell, who sends it behind. Here is Lindley. And another strong defensive effort. That's been the theme here so far for both sides. Yeah. You take away the man-up goal for Loyola, essentially a 1-0 game. Defenses have been holding strong, and a flag down. We get a man-up opportunity for Towson as Kobe Smith brings it over. Always got to keep an eye on him in transition.
Right. I think he saw that flag down there. Maybe he would have pushed a little bit harder. Probably the right play.
Yeah, so they'll take advantage of the free possession here with the flag down. And get everybody on, and a look here for Tim Montgomery. McLean.
Yeah, important for Towson here to not only handle this possession, this free possession with a flag down, but notice the clock. We're getting towards a minute here in that first quarter. So really finishing out this strong can give that momentum here heading into the second.
Under a minute to go. Montgomery kicks it out top, and it's stolen away. Loyola has done a terrific job in the passing lanes.
They have, and I think that's, that's coaching and preparation there. We've seen in the games that we've done with Towson, they are always looking for those skip lanes and looking to feed that crease. A lot of times, as we've mentioned, it's Milani on the inside there. So Loyola defense is certainly aware of that. They've been coached on it, and they're doing a great job today picking off those passes.
So Aiden Olmstead picks up the penalty. A 1-minute extra man opportunity. They got 7 extra man goals on the year, 35%, 7 of 20.
Really important for Towson to generate a high quality look here. I think they wanted that step down.
They can hold it for the start of the second quarter, but there'll only be about 10 seconds of the penalty that would bleed into the past here, the first. Swain swings it over. Ryan Swain dealing at the top of the box. Now Avanzano circles back up.
Inside.
In the middle, Montgomery! The man-up goal goes for Towson. They cut the Loyola lead in half.
Sheesh, nice shot there by Montgomery, but really this is a good job and a product of the entire extra man unit here by the Towson Tigers, being patient, and they did a nice job of just rolling guys off the crease, filling lanes. You see Montgomery cutting there with his strong left hand and does not hesitate for 1/2 second when he catches that ball. He knows where the net is and able to catch and shoot and put Towson on the board here, which is a great momentum for them heading into the second quarter.
Yeah, that feels so important for this Towson offense that didn't have a lot of success at the end of that Delaware game. You don't have a lot of success here, but at least you get to feel better about yourself entering the second.
Right, exactly. And sometimes that's the beauty of an extra man situation. Just get your offense in a rhythm and a flow, and you can get going from there.
See if somebody can win it forward. The faceoff is won there by Bailey Savio. They still got a chance with 10 seconds left here. This is Kamish. Gets the left hand free. Oh, that's a killer. Loyola with 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Joey Kamish is 5th of the year.
Kamish, I do not think that was talked about or planned or anything like that in the huddle. That's just a really great job of being aware and knowing the situation. Does a great job, too, of handling a double team. He had some Towson defenders all over him, is able to put his foot in the ground, get to his left hand, and just change planes there on Brennan in goal, put the one pass. We're just talking about the momentum Towson's going to have for the second quarter. Loyola takes it right back. You got to love these rivalry games.
Savio essentially clogged that up. So nobody wins the face-off there to end the first quarter, and it's Loyola taking the momentum back. They led 2-0. The Tigers get the man-up goal, but the Hounds answer with 3 seconds to go in the quarter. The 12th ranked team in the country up by 2 after 1 on LSN. Start of the second quarter on a beautiful day at Johnny Unitas Stadium in Towson, Maryland. The 12th ranked team in the country, the Loyola Greyhounds, with a 3-1 lead over Towson after 1. Travis Eldridge, Davey Emla back with you on LSN. And Davey, if people are just joining us, it was a defensive battle for most of that first half. Loyola just cashing in on a couple of the opportunities they've been given.
Yeah, they really have. It's really been about which team has been more opportunistic in terms of being on the offensive end. You know, I think it's typical in a rivalry game to come in, you know, super excited. Maybe you're gripping your stick a little bit tight. You know, this year's been a little bit different, but at the same time now, guys, we're 1 quarter in. We've had some possessions. Looking to see both teams settle in, run their systems, and start lighting up the scoreboard.
Another possession here for the Greyhounds to start the second quarter. It's Aiden Olmstead working at X. He's been terrific. 2 goals so far for Loyola.
We saw this a lot last week, Trav, against Delaware. Towson not afraid to be in that hung situation. They feel that they can defend it pretty well, and they have done so far.
Olmstead fed down on the doorstep. That was a good look. Just couldn't be handled by Liam Bateman.
Important loose ball here.
Scooped up by the Greyhounds. It's Joey Kamish who scored that goal right there before the end of the first.
2 back-to-back really nice plays there by Kamish, being opportunistic on that last goal, and then every ground ball there is critical.
Tigers have done a nice job on Lindley so far. He has to give it up, and now it's Bateman, 4 to shoot. I don't know if Loyola realizes. Now they do. Kamish, another heads-up play by this kid. The sophomore out of Michigan knows what he's doing, just sends it to the corner, prevent the transition the other way. I mean, why not if you're the Greyhounds? They settled 6-on-6 defense. They have not allowed a goal yet. The only goal for Towson, a man-up opportunity. Yeah, and I think you're right. And, you know, a way that teams can get going, just as we talked about with extra man situations, are in transition. And we know Towson has that ability. They like to run in transition. You know, last week Coach Nadalin was talking about being in a shootout with Delaware. They certainly welcome that. So that's something that Loyola is looking to take away from Towson today. Kobe Smith was hanging out on offense for a little bit, but he gives it up, and now they get the midfield unit on. The second midfield unit again for the Tigers. Remember, for Towson, a couple of guys out, including Greg I and Casey Wasserman in the midfield unit. So looking to some other places for production here today. Not gotten it yet. Good time here. Here's McLean sweeping across the top, and he finds the back of the net. The grad student out of California makes it 3-2. Yeah, nice take there by McLean, but this, Travis, is what we saw from Towson in the first quarter last week, right? Coming out, playing fast. They did a great job there of initiating their offense from the other wing, moving it twice through X, and then finding McLean on the backside versus a short stick. He has the advantage in that situation. He's able to put his foot in the ground, nice hitch to her underneath, sweep across the top, and ultimately really nice shot there to get Towson going here in the second quarter. By the way, nice touch by Jake McLean to have California Love by Tupac as his goal song. California kid out of Encinitas, California. Two-way midfielder. So we've seen him do a little bit of everything throughout his Tigers career. He's played face-off wings, has played defensive midfielder, more offensive here the last couple of years. Very versatile player. The Swiss Army knife, as they say. Peter Swindell for Loyola, another one of those guys, guy who plays face-off wings, plays offensive midfield, defensive midfield. You know, wherever you need me, coach, I'm there. Here's Aiden Olmstead. He's got Kobe Smith hung up again. Olmstead's won the battle so far, a couple of goals, but that one, nobody home. Kept alive by Loyola, and it's now Dan Wigley at the top. Feed to nobody in particular. Smith didn't get that first-time ground ball, though. 25. Now it's the freshman Seth Higgins. 20. Long possession for Loyola. Riley C. through the defense. C stopped by Brennan. whistle behind the play. Somebody's down. Looked like can't tell from our angle who that is. Maybe the short stick defensive midfielder Travis Maynard, number 45, the freshman out of North Carolina.
Yeah, tough collision there.
Let me know if you guys go to media timeout because of this.
So he is being tended to down in the Towson defensive end. The Tigers will have possession coming out of this. We'll step aside as they take a look at Travis Maynard. 3-2 game here in the second. Travis Maynard, the short stick defensive midfielder for Towson, still down on the turf here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. And Davey just has gone to a little bit of a theme here for the Tigers in the last couple of weeks. These are some of the injured players not here in the lineup. Chop Gallagher already out for the year, the freshman out of Oregon. Casey Wasserman, Brody McLean, Craig I, all offensive players, all out for at least today. We're not sure when they will be back. So the injuries continuing to pile up here for the Tigers. Travis Maynard sitting up, so that's good news here for the freshman. They continue to tend to him down on the turf. Gives us a chance to remind you we got some more CAA action here on LSN coming up next Friday. You can see Dylan Beckwith and the Fairfield Stags take on Charlie Kitchen and the Delaware Blue Hens. Face-off set for noon Eastern time. A little Friday noon lacrosse here on LSN as you see that game plus UMass and Drexel. A little Friday, Saturday doubleheader for you here on LSN coming up next weekend. And this is good news as Maynard's made it up to his feet. That terrific Towson athletics staff tending to him. So it gives us a chance to kind of reset where we are here so far in this 3-2 game between the Greyhounds and Tigers. Loyola getting off to a fast start against this Towson team. Early on, it was the Aiden Olmstead show. He scored, David, in a couple of different ways, working from X and from downtown.
Yeah, he has, and he's really showed you his shooting ability, both on the run and with his feet set. Really impressed by Olmstead here. The lefty over there showed a lot of capabilities to operate as that quarterback from X, but also really effective from the lefty wing. Going to look for him to have more action here on the scoreboard as this game continues.
Yeah, and the killer here, you think about what this Joey Kamish goal meant at the end of the first quarter. I mean, if Loyola doesn't score that, we're looking at probably a 2-2 game here early in the second. And at that point, Towson's got all the momentum, so the Greyhounds stealing a little bit of momentum back there at the end of the first big. As also good news is Maynard has walked off under his own power. He now takes a seat there on the trainer's table. We'll continue to get updates for you as we get them here on LSN on Maynard's status for the rest of today. But the Tigers get possession coming out of this. Full field pass, and it's turned over. Sloppy for the Tigers after that long break.
Yeah, tough to come out of that break right into a clearing situation. But again, those are what we talk about with Coach Nadalin and what we want to make sure we're getting better at week in and week out, is not making those clearing any kind of an adventure.
Unsettled situation. Higgins almost has it stripped, but just got rid of it in time. And it's back to Olmstead in the offense. Matt Higgins, number 8 in that green jersey, who stays on. 5-year starter at defensive midfield.
That's some experience right there.
We have a lot of 5-year guys, but when you have 5-year starters, it's just got to be a coach's dream. Loyola taking their time now with the possession, up by 1. Here's Lindley. It's been quiet so far, no goals. We mentioned at the beginning, though, he loves playing Towson. 13 goals in 3 games against the Tigers. Included 6 2 years ago, the last time he played here on Johnny Unitas Stadium. Nice job defensively by Towson. Here's Olmstead. Kobe Smith all over him.
It's more good defense from Towson.
Another shot clock violation. Yeah. We may have more shot clock violations here today than in like every other game combined.
No, you're right, and it's interesting. It's a sort of a balance here between Towson playing really good defense. I think Loyola's strategy offensively is to be a bit more methodical and take their time and pick and choose where they are going to attack. But Towson is not giving them many areas to attack on the defensive end for them.
Kobe Smith, and he's got that matchup with Aiden Olmstead, and every week that there's a star offensive player that Towson's getting ready to play, you talk to Sean Nattle and he says, Kobe wants it. Like, he never has shied away. He didn't shy away from Pat Spencer, from Jeff Teat, from any of the Michael Sowers earlier this year. He wants that matchup, and he looks forward to it. The opportunities to play those kind of guys.
That's right. And we always try to, be suggestive for Coach Natalin. We're like, you'll probably have a different strategy this week, right? It's like, nope, that's going to be the matchup.
Yeah,
they're going to go at it.
Kobe wants him, and more times than not, he wins a lot of those battles.
And what's really impressive about it is we saw him his coming out party was a lot of transition plays and transition, and now he's really anchored into that one-on-one defensive, welcoming that matchup week in, week out.
12 seconds left here for the Towson offense. Avanzato, jump shot, bounces up over the bar. Only 2 seconds left to go on the possession clock. So once again, Towson just going to send it to the corner. Another shot clock violation. Man.
Yeah, Avanzato, he's working there to create those opportunities. Loyola's just really keyed on him. They know that he is going to drive this offense. And really, when Towson's at its best is when Avanzato's getting those dodges on the backside off of ball movement. It's tough when he has the ball in his stick for, 20, 30 seconds. That's when things can get a little bit stagnant and makes things easier on the Loyola defense.
The Greyhounds see number 24 in the midfield for Loyola. That's freshman Seth Higgins, played locally in high school at St. Paul's. Tough, really tough break for him last week. Was not able to travel or play against Bucknell as Aiden Olmstead is pushed behind. Wasn't able to travel or play, not because he had COVID, but because somebody in his dorm, his freshman dorm, had it. As that ball is scooped up there in front, hounding defense. And I believe Loyola may have gotten a timeout to keep possession. They did. So we'll keep it here. So back to the story. So Seth Higgins, freshman on campus, living in dorms. Everybody else for Loyola, sophomores and up, are living elsewhere off of campus. But because he's on campus, they had an issue in his dorm, and so they shut down the dorm. Everybody had to leave.
Jeez.
And so because of that, he wasn't allowed to compete with the team a week ago, despite the fact he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes into the further complication that all these teams and all these schools are going through with the different COVID protocols.
Well, that's where I was going to go when we were talking about Towson and their injuries, right? It's all these key players, these key offensive players that are actually injured, but we have, COVID and just this irregular season that you have to deal with just to get to games, right? We had a situation 2 or 3 weeks ago where we didn't have a game to call on a Saturday because of this. So it's even just getting to the games is a challenge in itself, and then adding these injuries on top of that. These coaches are dealing with a lot.
Yeah, Charlie Toomey, I think, said it best in our call this week. He said, it's like we've got 2 game days every week. There's Thursday when you get tested,
right,
and then it's, okay, we're all good. Now we actually get the opportunity to play on Saturday. And it's a very unique year. Obviously, but I think everybody, when every coach we've spoken to, the consensus is we are really happy just to be able to play.
Yeah.
And everything else is a bonus. Obviously, you want to go out and win and all that. But these kids being able to have an opportunity to play college lacrosse this year is a very, very big bonus.
Yeah, I go back to, thinking of our Friday walkthroughs, for example, which always was like, all right, we have to dig deep and bring energy and make sure those are sharp. And, when you're in a situation where you're just happy to be out there, those things just come sort of naturally.
Yeah. So Loyola keeps possession after the timeout. 23 seconds left on the shot clock. This is Kamish who has it on the wing. Had a short stick matchup for a second, but they switch back. And now it's the freshman Higgins.
I like when they're giving Kamish the ball a little bit. I think he's a really cerebral player, making the right decisions.
Riley Cox has it eaten up by Brennan. Got stuck in the shorts for a sec, and then he's able to collect. But the clearing pass is wide of the intended target. Oh, good takeaway for a second there by Andrew Beecham.
And I think, Brennan is quietly making some really critical saves here for Towson. Otherwise, we've really seen Loyola only with possession in this quarter, and this lead could be much greater if he hadn't stepped up there and made those saves.
Yeah, up to 4 saves now for the Tigers starting goalie. Only 5 combined goals as we were past the midway point of the second quarter. One of the lowest scoring games we've seen all season. Kind of a polar opposite of what I saw Wednesday night between Drexel and Lafayette. Step down shot and a score. Peter Swindell. He took a shot afterward, but the goal counts. It's 4-2 Hounds.
Yeah, Swindell may have caught a stick or elbow there or something after that shot, but really, again, good job by the entire Loyola offense of setting up this goal here, right? We had Olmsted actually had a short stick from behind, and instead of going directly to him to have him attack that matchup, they just stayed within their offensive set, continued to draw the Towson defenders. As you see, that defender had to step down, and then just a wide open shot there, high to high, ends up taking a shot there afterwards too, showing some toughness.
Came up high around that shoulder area. No flag on it. Bailey Savio wins a faceoff. Savio, another guy who has been a key contributor for the Greyhounds since he stepped on campus.
I think that's another thing that we really want to keep an eye on here, Travis, is the faceoff and how we're doing there. With these possessions, as we've seen, they're a lot slower, more methodical on both ends just because of the way that the defenses are playing. So those faceoff wins become that much more critical.
And the edge really starting to tilt heavily toward the Hounds. Yep. Now 6-2 advantage at the faceoff X. Patra sends it behind. With Bailey Savio, the biggest thing that Coach Toomey said with him is he's gotten healthy here in the last couple of weeks, which is key. As Patra sends it behind. Flag down, push from behind on, I believe, Kobe Smith. Olmsted went flying.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call. I thought Kobe Smith did a really good job there. Olmsted caught that ball in an attack position. He wanted to make a play there and really push to try to get underneath Kobe Smith. Kobe Smith stood him up and didn't let him do that. I don't know any other way to make that happen. Maybe there was an extension from the arms that maybe pushed him into the crease and drew that flag, but just one of those really tight, tough to call plays.
Are you saying as an attackman you agree with the defenseman?
Maybe. There's a few situations, Travis, where that's allowed to happen. I guess that might be one of them.
32nd man up here for the Hounds, already with a man-up goal today. Top of the box, this is Olmsted. Took his eye off of it for a second. Took a couple of shots there from Regan McNamara.
That's what they drew up last time, though, trying to get Olmsted in that position for a lefty shot.
And we're back to even strength. McLean came racing on. Patra is bodied up. Sends it back out top. Olmsted stepping through, deflected in front. Loose ball, look out. Brennan comes out of his cage and he wins the ground ball.
Nice play by Brennan there.
Had to have it.
Yeah.
Tigers continuing to have some issues in the clearing game. Kobe Bars loses it. Here comes Loyola. Olmsted off the feet.
Oh, man.
A little sloppiness here.
If I'm McNulty, there's no way I'm not taking that shot. I like the unselfishness.
Oh, man. We already saw Ryan McNulty with one of the goals of the year, his spin move against Lafayette, where he beat his man and spun through for one. But McNulty was trying to give it to Aiden Olmsted, who is a good guy to get the ball to. Right. But you're right. I think a lot of long poles in his position would like to let that one roll. And so a timeout here for Towson with under 5 minutes to go in the half. Looking to see if they can get some offense going back in the right direction here at the end of the second quarter. A chance to remind you that for the most in-depth coverage of the sport of lacrosse, make sure you tune in to Lacrosse Now. We cover the sport like nobody else, with highlights, analysis, interviews with the biggest names in the sport, all that and more. Watch Lacrosse Now Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on LaxSportsNetwork.com or on the Distro TV app. So as we reset things here between Loyola and Towson, Davey, it's been methodical. This is a game that I think in the shot clock era, even with Towson last week against Delaware, we didn't see. I think very methodical from both sides so far.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that was talked about a lot during the week and was more planned than anything else. You know, we've clearly seen some games where Coach Nadalin has told us they want to run and gun, they want to light up the scoreboard. That not necessarily was the theme here for this week. It's been a really, solid defensive battle. We have not seen a lot of things in transition, including that last take from McNulty there. I was going to say to that play, I do know one former Loyola long stick midfielder that would be taking that shot, and his name is Scott Ratliff, that is for sure.
100%. I think you got a short stick in Josh Hawkins that probably would be letting that one rip too.
I think you're right about that.
Get that ball in that position. They're not missing on that opportunity, but it's Towson ball coming out of the timeout. 4:05 left to go in the half.
And the thing about it too, Travis, is that when it has gotten that fast pace and transition and hectic, we've seen a lot of balls being thrown all over the place, a little bit of sloppy play. So it hasn't worked out for either team when it has happened. So you can see both coaches saying, hey, let's settle in and play offense.
Avanzado beat his man. The pressure was way out on the end line. Avanzado had his heels right up to the out of bounds line there at the end, and found a way to not step out of bounds. Then he beat his guy.
It always adds a level of frustration for an attackman when your defender wants to come out and play on the end line. Just make you work a little bit harder.
Austin Stewart spins, flag down. Stewart draws the double team. Ball on the turf. Still loose. It goes out of bounds, and we will get a man-up opportunity here late in the first half for Towson. Already has cashed in on one man-up chance.
And as much offense as we've seen Loyola play, Towson has a man-up chance here now to put them within one. So, I really like Austin Stewart with the ball and the stick dodging. I think Towson does too. Coach Nadalin talks about that a lot. I think the teammates around him on offense could do a bit of a better job of clearing through and allowing those dodges to play out a little bit longer. But I think that's just more and more getting comfortable as a unit together.
Stewart had a career-best 3 assists against Loyola last year.
Yeah.
Transfer out of Denver.
You see him top middle here on the extra man. Floating to the inside.
Swain.
Step in here.
Stepping in. Avanzado sent it wide. Decent look. Still 40 seconds left on the extra man. Oh, good catch. Ryan Swain saved a possession. Avanzado off the bar. Ball comes all the way back to the other end. Towson gets the ground ball. It'll reset the shot clock. Still 20 seconds on the man up.
I think we can tell what Towson is trying to do.
Yeah.
Avanzado right hand free. Boom.
Avanzado, that one deflected. Milani couldn't get that first time ground ball. Scooped up by John Raley. And a chance for the Greyhounds to clear. And they wipe off the man up, so we're back to even strength. Both teams 1 of 2 on the extra man today.
And as we get deeper and deeper into this ball game, Travis, those are going to be the plays here that make the difference. That, 1 inch lower and it hits the crossbar versus going in the net, those are going to be the things that we really see. So turnovers, penalties, missed opportunities become more and more important as we go.
Kamish. Now Higgins on the wing. The freshman dodges, goes up high. It's sent it wide, and the backup, I believe it was Colby Bars who won the race. He did.
Yeah, Loyola's got to do a better job backing that up. But Higgins, we've seen him multiple times now on that lefty wing operating and is able to get his hands free for a shot. If I'm Loyola, I'm going back to that matchup until Towson slides to it or respects it.
More trouble in the clear for Towson. And coming the other way is Loyola. Ambitious pass that just goes out of bounds. So when they haven't played settled 6-on-6, it's been all over the place.
I'm telling you, there's the decisions that are going on in the unsettled situations are interesting. I'm sure that's a big topic of conversation in these huddles for the coaches.
You get the feeling. Garrett Zingalia, 6 seconds left to get it over. He gets it back to Brennan. Long clearing pass. Tough one, but it's tracked down by Beecham on the sideline. Trying to keep it in. It's out of bounds.
And, you know, Trev, that's 3 clears in a row now for Towson that we've just seen. It had to be a battle at the other end. Stuff like that. Not only is it taking away possession for you, but it just wears on you as a team, right? Having to be such an adventure every time we're trying to clear the ball. It's tough.
Well, and for a defense, too, as you got a whistle around midfield to go back the other way. As a defense, too, I mean, part of it is your job to clear. But it's frustrating because you get a stop against a good offense, and you feel like, oh, pat ourselves in the back, that was good. And then you've got to stay on and play another 60 to 80 seconds of defense.
Exactly, especially if you know, your goalie, Brennan, gave you a big save or something like that, and you give the ball right back. It's tough to come back from those.
Towson has cleared just twice of their last 7 attempts. They have a possession here, though. That one deflected in front, never got through to Schaefer. Nice ride by Towson, they get it back. Bender. And it should be out of bounds off of Loyola. It stays here with Towson.
Nice ride there. Oh, wow. Oh,
ambitious chance there at the end of the first half. And so the Tigers come up empty. Just 1 goal for each team in that second quarter. We got ourselves a defensive battle at the half. Loyola struck first, took a 2-0 lead. Got 1 more there before the end of the first quarter, added 1 here in the second. The Greyhounds lead by 2 after 2 on LSN. They send you back into the studio for halftime. Back here for the start of the second half from Johnny Unitas Stadium in Towson, Maryland. Loyola, the 12th ranked team in the country, with a 4-2 lead over the home team, Towson, after 2. Travis Eldridge, Davey Emla back with you as we take a look at these first half highlights. Davey, Aiden Olmstead starting strong.
Yeah, he really did, Travis. Coming out hot with some really nice shots. Seen there on the run, coming from that hung situation, able to turn the corner. And then on the extra man, really showing his range with that high-to-high rip here to get Loyola going. For them to continue their success, it's got to be a lot of Olmstead here in the second half.
But the Tigers have hung around. They went down 2-0. They then get the goal here from Tim Montgomery as he slid there in between. Also able to get another goal in the second quarter, but this one at the time seemed like it was going to be a killer. Towson gets the goal right before the end of that first quarter. Then Joey Kamish scores with 3 seconds to go in the first. However, it was Towson and Jake McLean getting the first goal there of the second quarter.
Yeah, it's been a lot of different types of goals for both teams. Neither has really gotten into the offensive rhythm that I think that they're looking for with that hot ball movement, getting it to the backside and attaching and winning that one-on-one matchup. Teams have been trying to find different ways to score, and Loyola so far has done that better.
So the last goal there of the first half coming courtesy of Peter Swindell, who took a shot. Towson certainly making the Loyola shooters earn it when they're going to score. It has been a physical first half and a defensive battle that we have breaking out. A 4-2 game. Nobody's led by more than 2 goals. This is tight, highly contested. What you expect from this rivalry.
Yeah, physical, a lot of tough plays going on. What I'm going to look for here in the second half, Travis, is now the skill and stick work from both teams, really picking it up here on the offensive end, but also in the clearing game. I think both teams can make it a lot easier on themselves by really getting things together here as they're trying to clear the ball and set up for their offensive possessions. A team that does that the best and make those adjustments, I think, will be successful here today.
Neither team was sharp in the clearing game. Towson 8 of 13, Loyola 9 of 10, but they had some opportunities for possessions that they didn't capitalize on. It got sloppy there in the second quarter. I'll be interested to see what the discussions were at halftime as Shane Santora wins it back to his wing. Reese Potter gets the ground ball, and the Tigers the first possession of the second half.
See if Towson can set the tone here and really show us how they're going to come out in the second half, what they're going to be looking to do, where they're going to be looking to attack from, and how well they can replicate that throughout this half.
Here's Austin Stewart. He's been held scoreless so far. Stewart, Geiger, Swain in there on that first midfield unit for Towson. This is Swain on the wing, marked by McNulty. Oh, nice takeaway by Ryan McNulty, but the ground ball there for the Tigers. Still plenty of time in the shot clock. Geiger down on the doorstep, stopped by Schaefer, and nobody there to back it up for Towson. Nice job by Schaefer to make the stop and get the backup.
Yeah, nice opportunity there by Towson. I think it still starts with them really beating their short stick defensive midfielder matchups. I think they're not getting Loyola to slide and lead their attackmen yet thus far, and really got to get that defense moving here to see more shots on net.
So yet another stop for the Loyola defense. In 6-on-6, they have allowed just one goal. One of the two goals for Towson, a man-up opportunity. So only one goal scored in 6-on-6 by the Tigers today. Patra drives in, gives it back to Lindley. Continues that battle with Kobe Smith. Smith comes back to get him at X. Look out. They got a switch.
Got a short stick there on Olmstead.
Nice job by Smith to get back to him. Evan James shoots wide.
Yeah, nice take there. Evan James has been really sort of floating around in the offensive end. You see him in a lot of different positions. Sometimes he ends up with a short stick, but really just trying to find that off-ball shot with his hands free.
Here's Lindley, who we could mention the first half. He loves playing this Towson team. 13 goals in 3 games against the Tigers in his career, but he's yet to score today. He's done a good job on him. 15 seconds left to shoot for Loyola. Kamish. Olmstead, he's got 3 seconds, got to hurry, and another shot clock violation.
Yeah, so I think, Chad, the more we see this, the more it's really got to be a discussed strategy, I think, with Loyola. They're saying, hey, listen, we're really confident in the way that our defense is playing. If there is a situation where the shot clock's low, instead of trying to force something and give them a transition opportunity, just dump it and we'll ride.
Yeah. We've seen more shot clock violations, I think, today than goals.
I think you're right. I was going to say more than I've seen in a long time,
yeah.
That's for sure.
So Towson once again goes to work offensively. Let's see if they can solve the riddle that has been the Loyola defense.
I think it's 2 things for Towson. It's winning these one-on-one matchups with the short sticks, but also when they do go into the 2-man game, it's setting picks that are effective and not letting the defender slip in between.
Montgomery gets his own rebound as that shot was deflected. Kept alive here. Avanzado shoots high, draws a flag. Free opportunity. Milani stripped by the short stick Higgins. What a takeaway.
That was a really nice check there by Higgins.
There's an over-the-head check by a short stick.
And that's on Milani, too, who's really, really good off ball. He thrives in those situations. Just heads-up play there.
But we do get the penalty here. It's on Cam Wires. It's coming right here. Up high there.
A little high there.
Cam Wires, the junior out of Ottawa, Ontario. So another man up here for Towson, 1 of 2 on the day.
And again, when you're Towson and it's tough to score 6-on-6 against Loyola, these man advantage situations are huge.
Montgomery, Swain, Avanzado all getting a touch around the top of the box.
See if they can generate enough movement and then look inside. I know that's what Towson likes to do.
Still 30 seconds left on the man advantage. No look pass, looking through, deflected. Good job there by Milani to keep it alive. Montgomery from the wing, just wide. I mean, the Loyola defense, the sticks and passing lanes have been terrific.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Travis, because that's something that can get overlooked. You know, it doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheets, but we've seen it time and time again with Loyola, and it's not necessarily even checking to take the ball away, but putting yourself in position to deter the shooter and change where they have to go makes a huge difference.
It's just taken everything out of rhythm for Towson.
Yep.
I mean, there has not been an easy pass inside for the Tigers yet today. Swain, one more pass. Montgomery missed it as the penalty's released, so we're back to even strength.
Yeah, nice one more there by Swain. I think Montgomery, you want those back. That's sort of 2 shots there from the left side that he's just put a little bit high. I think you really got to challenge Schaefer here in net and make him make some saves.
Shot sent wide there. But I think we just got a shot clock reset. And yeah, you see Montgomery's reaction. We did get a shot clock reset. That got a piece of Schaefer.
I think that either Schaefer or that nicked the crossbar
Might have nicked
there.
the crossbar, you're right. So, an extended set here for Towson. He had the man up, they don't take advantage, but they keep possession here, fresh 80. See if they can crack this Loyola defense. Geiger. Pass high and turned over. Another terrific defensive stand by Loyola.
It's just such typical Loyola defense. They're just taught and coached so well, but since when they step foot on Loyola campus, you just see all the little things done just correctly, whether it's not extending too far, whether it sticks in the passing lanes, body positions being correct all the time. Like, it's things that aren't, super obvious, as an over-the-head takeaway check that, we love to see, but it's such effective ways of playing defense, and Loyola has done it with this current roster, but just with all their teams in the past, and that's why they won that national championship with Scott and Hawk, as we talk about.
Yeah, Matt Dwan's unit on that side has been tremendous for Loyola. Higgins sends it behind. Olmstead trying to get away from Kobe Smith.
Another underrated thing there, Kobe Smith went for that over-the-head check there and still didn't lose his foot and body position. Pretty impressive.
Extra pass, back out top, and Olmstead sends it wide.
Loyola well coached on the offensive end as well, always looking for that one more pass. Give up a good shot to find a great shot. Love that mentality.
I mean, you look at the assistant coaches for Loyola, Matt Dwan on defense, Mark Van Arsdale on offense. Yeah. And there is one cashed in for Kamish, his second. First goal of the second half, Loyola strikes.
Yeah, and I think this Kamish kid, he's going to be someone we're talking about for a long time here over the next couple of years for Loyola. Really nice job there of just splitting, getting to the middle of the field, coming off the box off of a high dodge. If Towson is not going to slide up and stop you there, use your tools, use your left hand to get that shot off. But we've talked about Kamish being really heady and cerebral, making those really smart plays, showing you now his ability to dodge and get that shot off on the run.
Kamish coming out of Michigan, we mentioned, missed the beginning part of the season with a leg injury, came in and against Bucknell went off for 3 and 2, career high 5 points as he get a Loyola ball here off the faceoff.
And Kamish, he's another guy, the coaches we talk about, he's a sophomore this year, which means what as experience level? Probably a freshman, right?
Yeah,
and I mean,
pretty much.
He's 6'1", he's a tall 6'1", and he can really fill out that frame over the time he's on campus. I think can be really an effective player.
Guy described as somebody who can really stretch the field. As just a misplayed ball there by Loyola. They get the ball into the stick of Kobe Smith, and Towson tries to go for the clear. Once again, issues right back the other way.
I was just getting ready to talk about how important that offensive possession would be there for Towson. But we're back here on Loyola's end.
Greyhounds now a 3-goal advantage.
And as we can see, and we've seen all day, they have no problem taking their time here, letting that clock tick, and finding the best shot possible.
Nice individual effort there by Lindley, but it's taken away. Kobe Smith saying, you know what, maybe I just take this myself. Smith looking to go in transition. That one may have brought the house down.
I think that was the exact thought, though, Travis, as that was going on.
Hey, we can't have an incomplete pass or a turnover if I just bring it up myself.
Exactly. I think every coach would prefer the one-man clear every time. Let's just take all the variables out of it. Anything that could happen, we'll just put it in one guy's stick.
Kobe Smith, just 1 goal so far this year.
When I was at Carolina, we had the luxury of Mark McNeil being able to do that, both playing football and lacrosse there in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, he's a good, big physical guy to be able to do that.
Well, he would, and in practice too, he'd run to clear the ball, and he'd be looking for contact. So as an attackman riding, you have to be ready to put your shoulder down, or he'd be right into you.
Geiger squeezes one in. Maybe that'll break the seal here for the Tigers. Back to a 2-goal game.
You and I talked, Travis. Geiger's a guy that we didn't even have, on our radars very much here in the previous games, but he's had the ball in the stick a ton today, and he's really doing a great job of creating opportunities. Right there, as we see, demonstrating his ability to dodge both right or left-handed and get back to his right hand. Strong move getting down the alley, and he's able to change planes on that shot, putting it 5-hole, and giving some life here now to the Towson offense and Towson team as a whole.
Yeah, that is one they desperately needed. Gets them right back in it. But Savio continuing to have some success at the X. 7-10 now at the face-off dot for Bailey Savio, 70%. And in talking to Coach Charlie Toomey, with the percentage down for Savio so far this year, 51% after he was up around 69% last year in the shortened season, he said, look, he was a little banged up, and Lehigh did a number on him. Lehigh has a great face-off unit there for the Mountain Hawks. So he said, like, look, if he's completely healthy, I don't say it changes anything with Lehigh, but he said giving him the game off against Utah, he now seems like he's more 100%, and they expect a better Bailey Savio now here for the rest of the season.
Right, Savio, just like any one of these guys, right? They're tough. They don't really want to admit how much they're feeling an injury, but anything like that can throw your game off and affect you that way. Doing a great job here today.
This is Riley C. Dodge here from Bateman.
And this is another thing here that Loyola does well, is as we saw, Towson just had a score, right, feeling positive, feeling some energy, and then Loyola just takes another long possession, taking their time, being methodical, and just trying to beat deflating.
But another shot clock fight. I mean, both defenses, give both defenses a lot of credit.
You're right.
It's been sloppy sometimes in the middle, but in 6-on-6, it has been really difficult for either offense to create anything.
No, it has. You're right. And what's interesting is, we'll see the adjustments that the offenses are making, because nothing's changed. The entire game has really, neither defense has given you a lot, and I think both of them are coached so well to do just that, is to not give the offense anything unless it's earned. And that goes back to the correct approaches, not sliding unless it's earned by the offensive dodger, things like that. So we're seeing the defensive clinic put on by both sides.
McLean has it taken away, still loose. Still loose. This is a heck of a ground ball battle. It's won by the Greyhounds. And Matt Hughes, starting close defenseman, who wins the battle, and a chance for Towson to try to get this back to within 1. And it comes up empty. For both sides, as Evan James comes through, sent wide. Honestly, for both sides, probably the most frustrating thing for the offensive coordinators, you would have to think, is the number of possessions that have ended without a quality shot.
Yeah.
I mean, 80 seconds is enough time to get at least one good look on Cage. There just have been too many possessions for both offenses where that hasn't happened.
Exactly, and it can mean a couple of different things. It's just maybe we're not getting our guys on the field and organized quick enough. Ultimately, we're not winning our one-on-one matchups, so the defense isn't moving, so we just are stagnant overall. But you're right, it's doubly as deflating when it's a shot clock violation, and it's like, hey, we really didn't even generate an opportunity.
Yeah.
We didn't make the defense work.
Here's Evan James from the wing, trying to keep that right hand free. Picked up by Kobe Smith. By the way, 8 shot clock violations. So we have the same number of shot clock violations as we do goals here today. Behind the back pass finds the side of the cage. Hey, that's astonishing. I don't think I've done a game in the shot clock era that's been even close to this.
No, I would have to agree with you.
There's a good clear.
See if they want to push the pace here with some numbers.
This is Geiger.
Haven't seen a lot of Milani today, who's been playing really well over the last couple of weeks. So again, going back to what we were saying in the first half, really looking for him and Avanzado to spark this team.
Yeah, Andrew Milani leads the team with 17 goals so far this year. He's just been, I don't know, he hasn't gotten a quality look yet. Avanzado has it taken away. Another good check. That was Cam Wires. And crease violation. Give this one to Loyola.
Yeah, and I know we said this, I think, about Kobe Smith earlier, but the ability for these defensemen to throw those checks and not lose their position is really impressive. And I think that's something that you work on over and over again. But, that's something that we teach, young attackmen all the time, is that the second the defenseman starts swinging their stick, their feet stop. And that's the time that we change direction. Loyola's not even letting you do that.
Yeah, the one-on-one matchups have been won by defensive players across the board on both sides.
Yeah. They have, and really, for Towson, that's
sent high there by Olmstead.
That's where a guy like Milani, he's working off ball. He thrives when the ball's moving and guys are winning their matchups. Then he can find that soft spot off ball, but needs that to happen first for him to get open.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. We've had just 2 combined goals in this quarter. Stays at 2-goal Loyola lead. Led 4-2 at the half, leading 5-3 now late in the third. This is the freshman Higgins. Wigley. Low shot clock situation again as we near 10. That one, did he get a piece of the goalie?
Looked like he did.
Yeah, there it is. There's the reset. The fans at Johnny Unitas Stadium, the limited fans allowed to be in attendance, don't enjoy the call, but I believe it's the right one. I think that got a piece of Brennan.
They didn't see that, Trav.
They did not. Tough angles from up there.
Exactly.
So, get another look, and yeah, that definitely got a piece of something.
Yeah.
Because it changed angles.
Yeah. The trajectory was different.
Yeah, so they can hold for one here at the end of the third. The Greyhounds can. So we won't have a shot clock violation. We won't have our 9th of the day because, well, the shot clock is technically off. It's on, but you're not going to need it. Only 44 seconds left in the quarter.
We'll see what Loyola goes to here. I've really liked Higgins, the freshman 24 here for Loyola. I just think he's done really well in his one-on-one matchup. He can take a short stick.
He's up here toward the bottom part of your screen. That shot sent wide. Still 25 to go in the quarter. Going back to get it is Kamish. It's the only, he and Olmstead both have a couple of goals so far.
Yeah, and Kamish would be the other guy I'd look at right now.
Well, 2-man game with Kamish and Olmstead there behind. Kamish sends it wide, and Kobe Smith.
Heads up play.
Yeah.
Yeah, heads up play by Kobe Smith there. Not a bad take by Kamish.
No.
I think, he got himself to an opportunity. He just needed to pull that ball back a little bit more to reach that backside corner. But nice job by Kobe Smith. Heads up to run it out.
5 seconds now, 3. One more chance for Towson. Stewart sends it wide. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. A defensive slugfest here in the battle for Charles Street between Loyola and Towson. 15 more minutes to decide this one. The 12th ranked team in the country with a 2-goal advantage. Fourth quarter up next here on LSN. I hope you like defense because we got a lot of it here at Johnny Unitas Stadium through 3 quarters. A 5-3 Loyola lead here through 45 minutes. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter here on LSN. Travis Eldridge, Davey Emila back with you. Face-off battle has been slanted toward Bailey Savio, and he wins again. Now 8 of 11. Pretty dominant performance against Shane Santora, who has been around 50%, had a good week last week against Delaware, especially at the beginning. But it's been Bailey Savio dominated. Another possession here for Loyola to start the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, Travis, East possession now. Very, very important as we've seen the way that this game has gone. You know, neither team going on a 3, 4, 5 goal streak. Nice takeaway check there.
Another good defensive play, that time by Ethan Ticehurst, the long stick midfielder out of British Columbia. Can Towson take advantage? By the way, the only team to score more than 1 goal in a quarter today was Loyola. They scored 3 in the first. That's it. Otherwise, we've had ones across the board. Something will have to change if Towson wants to walk away a winner here.
Yeah, and we'll see, you know, what the coach's messages were in between quarters. You know, I think with Towson, obviously, it was making sure we're clearing the ball correctly and not, you know, shooting yourself in the foot anywhere there. But offensively, you know, what are they going to go to? Is it the 2-man game? Is it one-on-one from up top? But whatever it is, needs to start being more and more effective here as possessions get less and less in the fourth quarter.
Here's Austin Stewart working against the very talented Matt Higgins at short stick. Now Swain on the wing. Trying to get free across the top of the box. Draws that matchup with Cam Wires, something he does not want. Sent behind. Good look here for Milani off the pipe. Rebound goes. We got ourselves a 1-goal game. Towson striking first in the fourth. It's Andrew Beecham.
Towson needed that, Trav, that is for sure. Definitely needed to break things up a little bit. Great opportunity here. Milani, nice take with that, just hitting the pipe and then being opportunistic there with the rebound and firing here. Getting Towson going for the quarter, but I think what's great is just the opportunity that was generated there from solid offense all around. Started with Stewart there on the wing, dodging, getting the ball through X, and then eventually to Milani on the backside. So little life we're seeing here from Towson. Let's see if they can keep that going.
Man, you could see the reaction from Andrew Beecham. It was just a sense of relief.
Just like, finally.
We finally got one. Big battle on the face-off. Who they got the hold of? They get it on Loyola.
Yeah. Both sides just playing tough there. Almost looked like a little bit of a takedown, I'm sure. I'm sure it could have been called either way, but, you know, another opportunity now. I don't think Towson has had back-to-back possessions today, let alone an opportunity to score back-to-back goals.
Yeah, if they had, it's been very few. So 1-goal game, the Tigers, an opportunity to tie this thing up for the first time since all the way back in the first quarter.
Again, these one-on-one matchups with the short stick. See if you can get a defender to slide and get that ball hot.
Towson has not led in this game. McLean. That was a good look from Milani that led to the rebound. That was the best look he's had all day.
No, it absolutely was, and I think we're seeing more of that here on this possession.
Bender's shot saved by Schaefer. The last 2 possessions, it seemed like Towson, for the first time today, more aware of some of those checks that have been killing them.
Yeah, that was the energy and attitude we saw in the first quarter against Delaware last week, where they were just firing and really dictating the offense and not letting the defense dictate it back to them.
Look out. Yeah. Big hit. We got a flag down, so a man up coming for Loyola. I think that was Hughes who was racing in.
I think it might have been McLean there on Towson with that push in the back. So
a free possession for the Greyhounds as they try to get a 2-goal lead back. This is Olmstead. Back out top to Higgins.
And they are not in a hurry.
No, they will take their time.
Good chance here versus short stick.
Patra, a little 2-man game. Short stick matchup, top of the box for Olmstead.
Someone's got to be open.
Higgins took a shot as he delivered that shot. And we will get the penalty now. So you get a 30-second push on McLean. Get another look at this hit. Yeah, it was Matt Hughes. 0 career points, by the way. He was looking for number one.
He was looking for it. He had his eyes set there on that cage.
So a 30-second man up here for Loyola. One extra man goal today. Bateman steps into one, way high. Never got over that.
You know, you got to think with the way this Towson defense is playing, is, you know, taking that penalty there the worst move, and then having, you know, allowing yourself to set up and play man-down defense rather than give a defender, you know, a pole shot 5 yards off the crease?
I mean, maybe not. They kill the extra man, so we're back to even strength.
So, just a
you may not be wrong. It's like taking a foul in a fast break in basketball.
It's like a good foul.
Lindley held scoreless so far, still scoreless. A save there by Brennan. It's only his 6th save of the day. The goalies haven't had to make a lot of stops.
No, not a lot of shots, but it seems like everyone Brennan's making is really timely and very beneficial for Towson.
There's a better clear by Garrett Zingalia and company for Towson. That was the issue, especially in that second and third quarters. Just getting the ball to the offense was an adventure. But no problems here, and they get that first midfield on. Swain, Geiger, Stewart. Swain and Stewart, a couple of guys who have really come on strong in the midfield, have earned their way to the first midfield unit, but have yet to do much today.
You know, just more on the Loyola defense, too. You see them still challenging every pass from Towson. They get out on their guys. They make it difficult to even get the ball around. Again, that's just really fundamental discipline defense.
Oh, Stewart just gets taken down. No flag, but we will keep possession with Towson. Man, look at this by Razanka.
That's right in front of the official, too. I'm surprised that is not being called as a hold. I am shocked, actually.
Welcome to Loyola Towson.
Yeah, geez. I've seen a couple wrestling moves out here today.
Man.
Here's Stewart here. I like him against these short sticks. I just want to make sure that Towson is giving him enough room to beat his man and then draw that slide from Loyola here.
I mean, he's got a tough matchup with Higgins, but Stewart
there it is.
Draws the slide,
and
there's
flag.
The flag down. Geiger moves it along. Nice job by Loyola to get back. They were really scrambling for a second.
Avanzado on a shorty. Oh, wow.
Not sure if he didn't turn back the other way, he could have walked right in.
I thought he was setting him up for a question mark there, getting to the island. Would have had a nice shot, I think.
Flag down, so a free possession here for the Tigers. Trying to tie this game. Kicked out by Schaefer.
Another rebound.
Still loose, and Schaefer finally tracks it down, so there is the penalty that will trigger in. Buckle up in this one.
Yeah, you know, as much as we've talked about defense, right, we get a chance here to have a tie ball game if Towson can execute on this man up. But like I said, really good job by Stewart drawing that double team. He had a short stick on him. All he had to do was get that pole to commit. Not only did he commit, but came in aggressively, got him on the head, and that's going to give this chance here to tie the game up with an extra man.
Fifth man up opportunity of the day for Towson. They're 1 of 3.
As always, they're looking inside for Milani.
This is Avanzado at the top of the box. Now Swain. Swain. Montgomery. Montgomery's got a goal today. Milani, tough shot. And that'll trigger a reset of the shot clock. Still 16 seconds left of the man up.
Milani just an inch or centimeter off on most of his shots here today. But key there when that's happening is just to keep shooting, keep taking advantage of your opportunities, and they're going to drop eventually, having that shooter mentality.
Avanzato back to Stewart, who's looking for Milani. And, I mean, this Loyola defense has been a step ahead of just about every pass the Tigers have been looking for.
Again, it's just having your stick on the hands in the passing lanes. It's such a difference. Loyola's defense does it better than anybody.
I mean, that's the scout, too, am I right? Like, they know what Towson likes to do, and they've just been anticipating it.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I think as we've seen Towson, right, we know that they like to draw those guys off the crease so they can feed it inside. They have had sticks in the passing lanes every single time to deter Towson from doing that. And not only that, you see Towson has to have a whole sort of elaborate schemes drawn up because just the small amount of movement is not enough to get those sticks out of the passing lanes and create shooting opportunities for them. So they have to rotate guys in and off the crease to make that happen.
Loyola wants a timeout, give their defense a rest. Big possession here, under 7 minutes to go. We step aside, 1-goal game here on LSN. A big possession here for Towson coming out of the timeout. Down by 1, under 7 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, you see the score, and I think you probably get an idea, but it has been a slugfest. It has not been easy to score so far, which makes every possession here that much more important for the Tigers. This is one they've had a man up on, and it continues. Can they cash in and finally tie this game up?
Well, I'll tell you, it would be big for them if they did, because as the way this game has gone, there's going to be limited possessions and opportunities to tie this up and eventually pull ahead here left in this fourth quarter.
This is Carson Gager. His brother Riley has a goal today. Part of the second midfield unit on here for Towson. McLean. He's got one of the 4 goals as well for the Tigers. Solid defense that turns Bender back. Still 25 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. Just nothing doing. Geiger trying to get by as many does. Another great takeaway. Falling down, Milani draws a flag, and we will get another man up. This is the possession that never ends for Towson.
Slow and steady here today, Travis. We're cruising along. Cruising along.
They do say that wins the race.
They do. But, you know, looking at Towson, they're getting caught a little bit with not having some outlet passes for their guys that are double teamed. I think earlier in the possession there, Avanzato did a great job of drawing the double team, but then was looking to make that pass to take advantage of it, and nobody's there. You know, Towson has a lot of times when they're crowded in the crease a little bit, so it's just not as fluid as we're used to seeing, and then that leads to these plays that ultimately wind up in extra man opportunities.
Kyle LeBlanc goes to the box for 30 seconds for a hold. Another extra man. 1 goal today for Towson on the EMO as that pass found nobody in particular. Swain has to go track it down.
It's tough to throw skip passes on this defense, I'll tell you.
Yes, it is.
Inside there.
Stewart shoots high. That was the look.
And again, Travis, just the little things. Everything done perfectly there by Towson. Defender is beat on a cut, but has one last check and takes advantage of it to get that ball over the net.
We're back to even strength as John Bender keeps possession. Tigers can take this under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. And the longer this possession goes, the more important it is for Towson to score. Milani, the skip pass. That one gets through. Stewart shoots it wide. That was the look again.
It was. And again, you know, I think we've seen so many of these time and room shots without pressure that are missing the cage. And that, again, goes to credit the Loyola defense. It's not by accident that that's happening. They're pushing themselves in front of these shooters.
Skip pass gets through. Avanzato ties it up at 5.
Just like they drew it up.
Somehow.
Just like they drew it up. No, but just staying in theme with everything that we've seen today. You know, you just got to figure out a way to score these goals. It's not happening within the offense. It's not happening within normal rotation. So, hey, you know, a pass to the middle that gets deflected. Avanzado's in the right place at the right time, able to pick that up and circle the crease to put that one and tie us up for today. So, you know, lock and load here. We got a tie ball game with 4:45 left in the fourth.
Yeah, if you drew that up on the whiteboard, you'd say, all right, skip pass, have it deflect off of 2 different Loyola sticks, ground ball win, and then just scoop it up, fake, and score. No big deal.
Avanzado, why don't you circle around from X there to pick that up, and we'll tie things up here.
It's the tying goal that this game probably deserved. We're knotted up at 5 apiece. Loyola wins another face-off. Bailey Savio continues to be terrific at the X. And the Greyhounds now, this game is tied up for the first time today since 0-0. It's the first time that there's really been this much game pressure on the Greyhounds.
You know, and I don't think we're going to see.
Patra stopped by Brennan.
Wow.
Got lucky that thing stayed out.
You know, Brennan up to the task again, and I was just sort of getting ready to say that was uncharacteristically an early shot for the Loyola defense or offense. I anticipated them taking a little bit more time off the clock and getting a higher angle shot there. But now, you know, Towson ball and stick on the offensive end with the ability and opportunity to take the lead.
This is where the Tigers have struggled the last couple of weeks. Finishing games. Can they find a way to finish? They had leads against Delaware, Drexel, and Richmond in their last 3 games. They lost all 3 in the fourth quarter. Now coming from behind, is it any different? Can they capitalize and execute in these last possessions of a game? That has been their problem the last 3 games. This is a great chance for Sean Nadelin to get an answer. Montgomery! The Tigers have their first lead today at 6-5.
Yep, that's a great point there, Travis. Right on cue. Right on cue as Montgomery's able just to split down the alley to his right hand and put one past Schaefer here in a goal that Towson absolutely needed. You said it perfectly, too. This is where they had struggled. This is where we saw Delaware really turn on the gas last week and just push past this Towson team who put together such a good game in the first 3 quarters last week. Now they're in the opposite situation. They're the ones that are putting in pressure. You know, maybe didn't have a perfect or great game the first 3 quarters, but hey, they're finding out a way to take the lead here and put themselves in position to win.
Savio wins it forward. Bailey Savio! And after not being able to get any goals, we got goals left and right, knotted back up at 6.
Well, I just assumed with all the time we had in between goals that would be, you know, that would stick for a while. But, you know, right off the faceoff, we are tied up again. So we're going to have some fireworks here to end this one.
Bailey Savio's first goal of the season. His first one in the last 2 years, did not have any in that shortened 2020 season. And Bailey Savio knots things up at 6 apiece.
Nice job there, tucking his stick, not hanging it out there for the Towson defenders to see. As you know, they were all tracking hard there and wanted that check.
Somebody went early. It was Towson. He used a different face-off guy on that possession. It was Drew Martin.
So, you know, sticking with Towson just because we've seen this situation so much, Travis, right? It's the, okay, face-off violation, potentially a clear here, potentially a penalty, right? Those are the things that end up dictating the game. So how well can they play this last 2:45?
Got a man hung up here at X. This is Evan James, starting attackman out of Ohio. Now gets it to Aiden Olmstead. This has been the marquee matchup, Olmstead and Smith. Olmstead wraps around, shoots wide.
Yeah, nice take by Olmstead. You know he wants that left, and he's going to do it just like the first goal that he scored today. I think a couple more steps he could have taken to try to get that off a little bit more angle, but Loyola keeping possession on that backup.
This is Seth Higgins, joined by Joey Kamish in the midfield.
Telling you, Kamish and Higgins, those guys I think have the ability to win their matchup. Interested to see if they go to him.
There's Kamish on the wing. He's got a couple of goals today. Back out top, Swindell, and swung around. This is James. Gets the short stick, and then the help, Swindell. 1 second left on the shot clock.
No.
Did not get it off in time. Wow.
Ball's going the other way. So another violation we see, Travis.
It's our 9th shot clock violation of the game, and it comes in a huge spot because it wipes off the goal. Just missed getting that off. It's got to be out of the shooter's stick before the shot clock hits 0, and it was still in there.
What a swing for Towson there to be able to play that defensive possession, get the stop via shot clock, and not only that, clear the ball successfully. Now they have their offense on the field with an opportunity to really take over this game here, coming up on a minute left.
It's about a 25-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So Towson can't hold for 1. But if you are the Tigers, you probably want to take this down pretty far to make sure that Loyola doesn't get a full minute-plus possession.
Right, yeah, you don't want to give Loyola any kind of opportunity after this possession, regardless of what happens. So really good chance here for Towson to learn how to close out a game.
Gager gets it back to his brother, saved by Schaefer. 42 seconds to go. Loyola goes to clear. Here's Higgins. Moves it up. Rizanka chasing away with under 30 seconds to go as they'll get the offensive midfielders on. Nearly a turnover, and that is a heads-up timeout by Charlie Toomey. So they keep possession. 22 seconds left, tie game. It has been a struggle offensively for both teams, including for the star for Loyola in terms of goal scoring, which is Kevin Lindley. We came in talking about what he's done against this Tigers team. 13 career goals in 3 games against Towson. He's been held scoreless so far today as you look at what he's done against this Towson team in his career.
Yeah, he really has had a lot of success in this matchup, but also, overall, he's a really, really smart player. Is able to execute and operate off ball, better than or at least as good as anyone else in the country, and he's been able to do that for a long time. He's played with some great teammates and great players, and he certainly is a great one himself. As you see a lot of clips there with feeds coming from Pat Spencer and now a lot coming from Olmstead, but Lindley has been that consistent force. Really reminds me of a Max Quinzani type guy, from back in the day. I think just how he operated with others, and I think for this particular situation, sometimes when stars or guys that you're used to seeing that have been quiet for a day, look for them to be the one that scored this goal that ultimately end up winning the game.
Well, I think that's the question when you look in that huddle with what Mark Van Arsdale, the offensive coordinator, is trying to draw up. Do you go to a guy like Lindley, who's been really quiet today, hasn't had the ball in his stick a lot? Do you go to him in this time, despite the fact he struggled all day?
Yes, because I think his strength is a catch and shot here. So it's set up this with Kamish or Higgins or Olmstead even with the ball in their stick, have some action on the front side, and then get it to the backside with maybe a mumbo screen for Lindley coming off of the inside for a time and room shot.
Here's Kamish, sends it behind, nearly stolen away by Kobe Smith. This is Olmstead, 10 seconds to go. Feeds. And it's a loose ball. Towson's going to track it down. It sent the distance. And for the second consecutive week for the Tigers, we have extra lacrosse for Towson. After they lost against Delaware a week ago, we got overtime here today at Johnny Unitas Stadium. We will step aside, but do not go anywhere. Extra lacrosse here on our CAA Game of the Week. Loyola and Towson tied at 6. The 64th all-time meeting between number 12 Loyola and Towson going to be decided here in overtime. We're all knotted up at 6 apiece here at our CAA Game of the Week. Travis Eldridge, Davey Emila back with you for the start of OT. Bailey Savio and Shane Santora at the face-off X. Savio wins it forward again, but he kind of scoops it past his long pole, McNulty. However, Ryan McNulty goes back and tracks it down, the All-American. Savio has been terrific at the face-off X today, and he wins a all-important face-off here to start the OT session. Always
a lot of anticipation for those first face-offs in overtime. You don't know if it's going to be sort of a quick end, or let's get settled and set up an offense here like Loyola is doing. Another chance, sort of like they had at the end of regulation, right, to draw something up and get to their best system to try to make something happen here. Didn't work out that time, so interested to see what they come up with to start this overtime.
If you're just joining us, this has been a defensive slugfest between these two. Terrific defense on both sides, great takeaways by short sticks, long sticks, everybody. Wrapping around, just pushed high by Brennan. I do think he got a piece of that, but they did not reset the shot clock.
Yeah, that was close. Olmsted there, you know, he wants to get to his left, but switching things up a little bit for that one-handed wraparound. Ooh.
There's Brennan with his stop.
Brennan, yep. The save total might not jump off the page, but the timeliness certainly is noticeable.
Save number 8 of the day for Brennan. The clear has been an adventure for the Tigers at time, but they're able to get that over midfield as Reese Potter brings it across. Towson scoring 3 goals in the fourth quarter, matching their total for the entire first 3 quarters.
Yeah, if I'm Towson here, important to come up with that attitude and energy that they had sort of in the end of that fourth quarter, but really all last week against Delaware. Moving fast, beating your man, sharing the ball, generating quality opportunity.
Towson's familiar with this. 3rd OT game of the year for them. That one stopped by Schaefer. Resets the shot clock.
Big play here on the end line.
Battle for possession is won by the Tigers.
We've got a timeout.
And they keep possession here with the timeout. 8th save of the day for Schaefer as well. I mean, these two teams have been tight throughout. And I think for people who haven't watched Towson play yet this year, you look at the record, you see 2-5, and you go, okay, they're having a down year. But this team is a team that probably should have beaten a ranked Richmond team a couple of weeks ago. 1 goal loss when they led going into the fourth quarter. Had a really good chance, probably should have beaten Delaware, a team that people are very high on, top 20 team, last week. And they led Drexel a couple of weeks ago going into the fourth quarter. So when Charlie Toomey said that they're the best 2-5 team in the country, I think I believe him. Like, this Tigers team is 3 goals away from being 5-2 and in the top 20.
Yeah, I agree with you, Trav, and we've heard that from multiple coaches who have either faced this team or were preparing to face this team. The amount of talent and ability they have on the roster has never been in question, and I think even with the different injuries and the challenges that this year has presented, they still have an abundance of talent. For them and the Towson Tigers and Coach Nadel, the issue has been some of those leaders or those staples like a Zach Goodrich maybe, who hasn't been there to really drive them to completing those full 4-quarter games, and that's what they're learning, and we're watching them go through right now as they get better and better each week here. But they've done a good job of finding different ways to score here today, whether it's off of a skip pass or ground balls in those opportune times. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with here today. We talked about on the other side for Loyola, Lindley. I'm thinking Milani trying to set him up for a time and room shot could be great for the Tigers.
All right, coming out of the timeout, under 2 minutes to go in this first OT session. Tigers' first possession. Here's Ryan Swain. Got that stick lifted up. Loyola's defense has been in passing lanes and have been just terrific with takeaway checks all day.
Yeah, it's really impressive because honestly, in that situation, that's a hands-free shot. But Loyola defenders, they're right in there.
Over to the far wing, dodging in. Montgomery calls ball game. The Tigers with the upset over number 12 Loyola. 7-6 your final.
I'm telling you, the way Tim Montgomery, he started with the ball for this possession. He had a look in his eye and an attitude about him that he was about ready to make a play. Didn't happen right off the bat, but he is the one eventually to take this ball, get underneath, and ultimately ice it here for Towson. Just a nice job of protecting his stick underneath, realizing that he can win his matchup against a short stick D-Midi, changes planes, gets 5-hole there on Schaefer. But what a big play there from Montgomery. This is something Towson has been working for. It's something that they really needed as a group and as a team, and now are able to get this win. Big ups here for the Towson Tigers.
What a win for Towson here at home. It snaps the 3-game losing streak. It comes on Tim Montgomery's 3rd goal of the day. He is the hero. as they knock off Loyola. Davey, this is a team in Towson that had leads going into fourth quarters their last 3 games. They lose. Apparently all they need to do is try to come from behind, and they're able to execute better down the stretch.
Right. Well, it's interesting, in rivalry games, sort of everything's out the window. And I think, you got to sort of not go on what the current season is like, but what the rivalry games are like. And these games are tough, they're physical, they're really defensive oriented, and that's what we saw today. And ultimately at the end, Tim Montgomery and the Towson Tigers were able to make a couple more plays to get this win. This is something that they're going to take and be able to grow on throughout the rest of the season.
Tough loss for Loyola. They dropped to 4-3 overall here on the year. It snaps their 2-game winning streak. Their offense was clicking, 16 against Lafayette, 24 a week ago against Bucknell. This Towson defense, give them a lot of credit for what they did, because this is a talented Loyola offense that they kept at bay.
Yeah, we talked so much about both defensive units today, but Towson specifically, I think what's really impressive about them is they never get down. They have that next play mentality. Loyola was up early, but that didn't deter Towson in any way. I mean, the amount of shot clock violations that we saw were really impressive. And, granted, that might have been a part of Loyola's strategy and that they wanted to set up their ride. But, if they were able to sling the ball around and put up a bunch of numbers on this defense, they would have, and Towson made sure that that didn't happen.
So once again, your final score, Towson 7, Loyola 6 in overtime. Thank you for watching our CAA Game of the Week here on Lax Sports Network. For Davey Emila, our producer Dylan Hand, and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge saying so long from Towson, Maryland. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.